Xiaofeng is an S-Class Fury Tendency Sinner who deals physical damage. Her role is currently as the main damage dealer for We Know team. She will do this by summoning her Tiger Sprint to the multiple layer of attack, while her damage be supported by Overlimit Potestas. Xiaofeng's characteristic is that her damage plus 5% and another plus 5% to enemies with broken cores, standard for a damage dealer. Her main intensify is that when Tiger Sprint is summoned, Xiaofeng deals damage equal to 500% of her attack to all enemies within 3x3 area of that Tiger Sprint. This damage counts as We Know damage. If you are new and don't know what We Know damage is a type of damage which applies one stack of We Know mark on the enemies. This We Know mark then will reduce the enemy defense by 0.5% for 3 seconds and can be stacked 20 times. So essentially it's a defense minus 10% at maximum stack. Not much, but a nice thing to have since Xiaofeng deals physical damage. You can track how many We Know mark stack the enemy has by checking this green symbol in the enemy. Xiaofeng's main mechanic is very simple and straightforward. Summon her Tiger Sprint. You can do this by casting her passive 1, which also her second ultimate, and then cast her main ultimate until the enemies dies. Since I have mentioned it a couple of times, you might have been wondering, what is Tiger Sprint? Tiger Sprint is Xiaofeng's summoned creature. There can only be 2 Tiger Sprint on the field at a time. Tiger Sprint cannot block or be targeted by enemy, immune to damage and control effects, cannot move and does not perform normal attack. So what is the point of Tiger Sprint and how does it contribute to Xiaofeng damage? Well, it's time to break down Xiaofeng's skill and abilities. Let's start with Xiaofeng's main ultimate. When Xiaofeng casts her ultimate, Xiaofeng moves to the designated grid and deals damage equal to 180 to 360% of her attack to all enemies within skill range 3 times. That's a total damage coefficient of 1080%. This damage counts as We Know damage and the first hit additionally deal 1 core damage. Also, in case you haven't noticed, Xiaofeng's ultimate does not need energy, but instead it costs 2 chief energy, which make her synergize with the Overlimit Potestas. Xiaofeng's second ultimate comes from her passive 1. It allows Xiaofeng to summon Tiger Sprint to the designated grid. When Xiaofeng casts the ultimate Rending Gale will also be casted around the Tiger Sprint. However, if multiple Rending Gale hit the same enemy, the additional cast will only deal 30 to 60% of the original damage and cannot deal core damage. To put it simply, Tiger Sprint is an extension of Xiaofeng Rending Gale, which can be used to either cover more ground or add layer to Xiaofeng damage. However, the layer of damage does not stop there. When Tiger Sprint is summoned, it generates Realm of Beast in its grid. When enemies in the Realm of Beast takes damage from the ultimate Rending Gale or the Mania Intensify, Xiaofeng deals additional damage equal to 30 to 60% of her attack to that enemy. This damage counts as We Know damage. If the enemy is within multiple Realm of Beasts, the damage coefficient stack. If we include this passive 2, then there will be 3 different damage that going to be triggered by simply casting a single Rending Gale. First Rending Gale from Xiaofeng herself, then Rending Gale from Tiger Sprint, and last damage from Realm of Beasts. This is what I mean by layer of attack, because of the enemies got hit from 3 different things in a single ultimate, and when you look at the damage, it will look like this. Yep, that's a long list of damage from Xiaofeng alone. Now that we have covered her We Know damage and Tiger Sprint, let's cover her Overlimit synergy in her exclusive Crime Brand. But first, Xiaofeng exclusive Crime Brand introduced the new exclusive ultimate Mountain Lord's Roar. This exclusive has a 40-second cooldown and can only be used 3 times per battle. When cast, Xiaofeng will enter Lord of Beast state for 12 seconds. During Lord of Beast state, Xiaofeng gains the following effect. First is immunity to control effect. Second, ultimate Rending Gale damage coefficient will be increased by 1.2, 1.35 or 1.5 times and hit 1 more time. This includes Rending Gale from Tiger Sprint. And third, if an enemy hit by multiple instance of ultimate Rending Gale, the additional instance damage coefficient plus 20, 30 or 40%. Basically, more damage from Rending Gale. Indicator wise, you will see this huge green-black aura around Xiaofeng when Lord of Beast is active. This exclusive Crime Brand also has additional passive ability, and that's where synergy with Overlimit Potestas come from. If equipped with Overlimit Potestas, When entering Lord of Beast state, the Deep Mania mark duration is refreshed and does not decrease until the state ends. If you are unfamiliar with Deep Mania mark, it's the mark granted when you cast Overlimit Potestas. The effect is basically granting attack boost up to 40% for 6 seconds. It's really powerful since its rival Jichuan activated Heavenly Formation. So imagine you have attack boost both from Jichuan and Deep Mania at the same time. Before we move on, just a bit of mention of her normal attack. Xiaofeng normal attack is that she deals damage equal to 92 to 114% of her attack to an enemy within skill range. Nothing really special. Okay, showcase time. First, let's decide the team composition. Since Xiaofeng deals with no elemental damage, then Jichuan definitely a must for her. Not only that, Jichuan also provides overlimit support, making her not only a must, but also the perfect support for her. And you will see even more why. And speaking of overlimit, then let's bring our dandy spy, Ras. Now, we have 3 overlimit Sinner. The remaining 3, I will just bring the best support and utilities that I needed. Shin for healing and more damage support, Xie for core break, because I think I'm going to need more, and Awu because why not. I replaced Xie and Awu with Zero and Margaret for Tide of Ashes later because the stage is more demanding. The first thing that I want to highlight of Xiaofeng is her amazing ability of wave clearing. With her abilities to summon to Tiger Sprint, you can use them to cover 3 different spawn points, especially in content like Remnant of the Depth. As their running gale is as strong as Xiaofeng when they hit different enemies, they can literally spawn kill all the trash mob also. That's literally like having 3 Xiaofeng on the field. That will be much chaos. Her wave clearing ability also shines in Broken Frontline. As you can see in my team composition, I don't need to bring a dedicated wave clearer like during my burn team run with Hestia. As Xiaofeng is RD1, she literally done all the killing while the rest of the team just there to support her with damage support or core break sometimes, making her deserving the title of the Winnow team carry. I managed to clear Broken Frontline around 26 to 28 seconds, which I would say okay performance for my account. If I have to say something negative about Xiaofeng, then I would say that she's an overlimit Sinner, meaning she needs to be played with overlimit Potestas. If you play Xiaofeng with other Potestas, I don't think the result will be as good as what I show you, and she definitely not gonna look as strong. From here then the pro and cons will be much more related to the overlimit mechanic than Xiaofeng herself. Overlimit Potestas is powerful, since it gives you 40% attack boost at maximum stack, but assuming you can keep the Deep Mania mark. The thing about Deep Mania mark is that it only lasts for 6 seconds, meaning you have to keep activating overlimit Potestas between that time, making it more micromanaged than the more common Potestas like Empower or Last Stand. It's not very beginner or casual friendly and can be an issue in a longer fight. On a longer fight, usually there is not enough core to break to generate more chief energy, so you can only rely on the overlimit value generated by overlimit Sinner like Jichuan or Ras. If you use the Potestas irresponsibly, then you will end up spending all your resources and ended up dropping your Deep Mania mark. This is not an issue in short fight like Broken Frontline as they have many enemies with core. But in a longer fight like Tide of Ashes where core break is limited, this is definitely an issue. So normally, I will not even bother to use overlimit on Tide of Ashes. Until now. Just to clarify, Xiaofeng doesn't completely remove the micromanaging mumbo-jumbo of using overlimit, but she making it more manageable to deal burst damage. Why? Because of her exclusive. Her exclusive refreshing and then freezing the duration of Deep Mania mark is very useful. This is especially useful in the last core break window of Tide of Ashes bosses, where they have longer core break duration, making it possible to insert an extra ultimate or 2. You have no idea how surprised I am that I finished with 44 million damage with S0 Xiaofeng. If you have watched my Jichuan guide video, I finished with 35 million damage with my S3 Unreforged Yao there. So Xiaofeng surprisingly is strong as damage dealer. However, I believe the main reason why overlimit is more viable now in a longer fight is actually because of Jichuan. First, with the addition of Jichuan, now you can have 2 Sinner that generating overlimit value, Jichuan and Ras. Second, Jichuan on Mania Intensify can increase her overlimit value recovery speed to almost 100%, making producing chief energy much faster. And third, is Jichuan's ability to refund the energy cost used by Elite Sinner while she is in the mortal formation. Now, I think the third one is a huge deal. Why? Well, imagine this. Xiaofeng ultimate costs 2 chief energy, meaning Jichuan will refund that 2 chief energy. Now, do you know how long does it takes to generate 2 chief energy with overlimit Potestas? Assuming Jichuan not using her ultimate, it took 14 seconds. That's a really long time. That's like half of the broken front line if you finish the fight in 30 seconds. That's like the entire core break window. So in most cases, the chance of you to get an extra ultimate in the core break window is 0. But here Jichuan just give one for free every time she did ultimate. I did count how many ultimate Jichuan get in my Tide of Ashes run, and the answer is 7. That means my Xiaofeng did 7 more ultimate than anyone Xiaofeng that doesn't have Jichuan. That's also equal to me generating 14 extra Deep Mania mark by the way, which I can use to either get to 10 stack, prolong the duration, or summon Tiger Sprint for free. Now imagine you play Reforged Zoya with her 4 energy cost. Good luck trying to get it into 3 stack. To conclude, Xiaofeng overall performance is way better than I expected. She is very strong and her playstyle is very fun. But I think anyone who missed Jichuan going to disagree with that statement. If you watch this video after Jichuan banner or have no Jichuan in your account, then Xiaofeng is completely skippable. Skill priority starts with her ultimate, passive 1, passive 2, and last is normal attack. This is based on the damage output from each of the skill basically. For exclusive Crown Brand, I recommend between level 1 to 3 since it only affects her damage output. Personally, I will stay at level 1 as the most important effect is the Deep Mania duration extension. For Crown Brand, this is mostly built for bossing. First is Golden City, who grants damage plus 60% if Xiaofeng break a core. Perfect for broken frontline, which usually have a lot of enemies with core. Just be careful not to break the boss core with Xiaofeng if you also bring someone with Heartache. The duration and cooldown is 12 seconds, which is matched up nicely with Xiaofeng Lord of Beast State. Next is Melodious Bell Tower if you can finish the fight within 30 seconds, and last is Embrace, which is the weakest but with the easiest condition and way to obtain. Xiaofeng is okay as Shackle 0. Honestly, I'm not even going to recommend casual to Shackle Xiaofeng. If I have to sum up her Shackle, then all of them basically just there to increase her damage output. So here are some notable ones. Shackle 1, when Xiaofeng casts her passive 1 ultimate, immediately gain 2 chief energy. This effect can be triggered 2 times per battle. To put it simply, you can summon your first 2 Tiger Sprint for free. Shackle 3, when Xiaofeng deals skill damage to an enemy, her skill damage plus 2% to that enemy. This effect can be stacked 12 times. Basically, yay, more damage. I'm not sure if this is the same type of buff that Jichuan haven't marked over. Chances are it's different, but if the same, then the damage improvement from obtaining the Shackle will be less than what it might suggest if you have Jichuan. Last is Shackle 4. Maximum number of Tiger Sprint on the field is +1, and Shackle 1 effect trigger count is also +1. Now, if I have the resource, then this might be my go-to Shackle. Not because of how powerful it is. I get it, more Tiger Sprint equals to more damage. But my reason is more of because it helps me to cover more ground. Having 3 Tiger Sprint plus Xiaofeng basically makes me capable of covering for spawn point and spawn kill trash enemy in Remnant of the Dead. And as I show you, it's really fun. What can I say? I'm more of utilities type of guy than damage. Alright Chief, we are near at the end of the video. If you find the video helpful, don't forget to drop a like, comment and subscribe for more Path to Nowhere content. My name is Kaiza and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.